You see, I think one of the troubles of the world has been the habit of dogmatically believing something or other. And I think all these matters are full of doubt, and the rational man will not be too sure that he's right. I think that we ought always to entertain our opinions with some measure of doubt. I shouldn't wish people dogmatically to believe any philosophy, not even mine. Not even mine. No, I think we should accept our philosophies with a measure of doubt. What I do think is this, that if a philosophy is to bring happiness, it should be inspired by kindly feeling. A philosophy which is to do good must be one inspired by kindly feeling and not by unkindly feeling.
I think there will be a reaction. A reaction will set in against this communal dissociation. You know, man doesn't stand forever his nullification. Once there will be a reaction, and I see it setting in. You know, when I think of my patients, they all seek their own existence, and to assure their existence against that complete atomization into nothingness or into meaninglessness. Man cannot stand a meaningless life.
I hope and I believe I've tried to examine what their actual effects have been as opposed to what their intentions were. That is to say, I think that the great problem in so many of these areas is to distinguish between rhetoric and substance. There's, as you very well know, there's a famous saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And that's the case. Almost all government programs are started with good intentions. But when you look at what they actually achieve, there's a general rule. Almost every such program has results that are the opposite of the intentions of the well-meaning people who originally backed it. I say well-meaning because in every such case, there are people who are doing it because they believe it would be good for the country. Unless you have some people like that, it's hard to get anything through. On the other hand, it's also hard to get through unless there's a core of people who can see how they personally can benefit from having that policy put into effect. And in some cases, the results, not in all, but in some cases, the results do coincide with their expectations. But they're almost always the opposite of the intentions of the well-meaning people. Now, I don't believe that's a general skepticism about everything. I think that's rather, the old American saying, I'm from Missouri, show me.
You asked me if an ordinary person, by studying hard, would get to be able to imagine these things like I imagine them. Of course, I was an ordinary person who studied hard. There's no miracle people. It just happens they got interested in this thing, and they learned all this stuff. They're just people. There's no talent, a special miracle ability to understand quantum mechanics or a miracle ability to imagine electromagnetic fields that comes without practice and reading and learning and study. So if you say you take an ordinary person who's willing to devote a great deal of time and study and work and thinking and mathematics and time, then he's become a scientist.
But I so envy those who could glimpse. I only mentioned 3 or 4 of the things that have magnetized and charmed and gratified me to think about in the recent past, and how much I hope that each of you forms some such ambition this evening and carries it forward. In the meantime, we have the same job we always had, to say as thinking people and as humans that there are no final solutions. There is no absolute truth. There is no supreme leader. There is no totalitarian solution that says that if you will just give up your freedom of inquiry, if you will just give up, if you will simply abandon your critical faculties, a world of idiotic bliss can be yours. But we have to begin by repudiating all such claims. Grand rabbis, chief ayatollahs, infallible popes, the peddlers of surrogate and mutant, quasi-political religion and worship. The dear leader, the great leader, we have no need of any of this. And looking at them and their record and the pathos of their supporters, I realized that it is they who are the grand imposters. And my own imposture this evening was marred by comparison. Thank you very much.